Okay, Dad. So we're now going to go into talking about Thayer. We had some really awesome, exciting times then. We were little kids when we moved there. Let's see, I was second grade, right? And John was sixth grade?
Yeah, I believe that's right.
The second term, that is.
Yeah, second term. Yeah, we left in the fall of '70. We've been there 3.5 years at Thayer, but they wanted to hold back and just be comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
So we moved on, relocated. 11 years later, they called us back, and we helped them build a new church, and that was a real plus. Property was donated by Ellis and Betty Holstman.
It was?
3 acres.
Oh, wow. Now, did you build that after you went back, or I can't remember how that happened?
We came back in August, and they had part of the plumbing stuff in already, but then the church was going to split. We had a lot of trouble.
Mm.
But we came back, they knew us and we knew them, and it's just like as David Thornton said, it seems like there wasn't any problem. Things had gotten back in the groove in the right way. And so that spring we started in, and we had a great time of fellowship. We did most of the labor, and it was great.
Now, did they sell the church and the parsonage there before we built the new church?
Yeah, they sold it to Glenn Powers.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Glenn and Kay Powers.
Because I remember specifically when we moved to Thayer, moving to, was it Preston? What was the name of that street? We had a P.O. box, so never could remember it.
Preston Street.
Yeah, it was Preston Street, and so I remember us moving into that house, and had a fireplace built.
Yeah, we had a fireplace and a basketball goal.
Oh yeah, JW loved that. I enjoyed it too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Everywhere we went, when we bought a house, we tried to make improvements on it. But the church at Thayer had some wonderful services. We had a great music program in that second ministry. We had the Impact Brass and Singers, great musical ensemble
from Ozark
Christian College, and we had 6 years in a row, and that's unheard of. But our people responded. And 2 of those occasions we had over 700 people, and the new church received about 400 or so. So we had them packed in. Willis Harrison came out of the room for devotions before the program that night, and he said to me afterwards, he says, we came out of those rooms in the back for devotions, and we looked, and it looked like a sea of humanity.
It was great.
And it was great, and so twice we had, I don't know the exact totals without looking them up, but 700 both times.
But in one time, even the fire marshal had said he was worried about it, wasn't it? Something like that?
Yeah, he was.
Fire hazards or something. We're so full.
He wasn't going to cause any trouble.
Yeah, no, he knew better. And a couple times, the Hidden Haven Christian Camp brought the kids in for it, right?
Yeah,
yeah, I remember that. They'd sit on the front rows or floor. I even remember them doing that.
And then we had the Oak Ridge Boys twice.
Yeah.
And we had several hundred for them, and some people couldn't believe we didn't get the Oak Ridge Boys. But we got them on a Thursday night, and then they went down to Tulsa. That's where they made their money. Yeah. And they went down there in Tulsa. So it was real handy to come to Thayer.
Yeah.
And they did, and boy, when they had the bus, when they came into town, they parked the bus in the center of the street. You know how they parked it. And it's great advertising. Stan and Kathy Stitt helped Nancy fix the meal for them in our house in the parsonage. And so we...
Oh wow, they were in our home then.
They were in our home.
That's right. I remember that guy with really long hair.
Yeah, but he didn't have long hair then.
He did?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, something about that.
No. And he let it grow.
Yeah.
At that time, he still looked sharp with his haircut. And then we waited another year and had them back. And this time we ate out at Kathy Stitt's.
Right.
Flip flop. But it was great, great memories and great programs.
Well, that's one thing, Dad, you've always been passionate about and really great at is music and getting good groups in and stuff like that. So that's great. Let's talk about our family when we were in Thayer a little bit. Talk about, I don't know why it is, but that fireplace was really cool. I remember the fire going. How did that get built and who helped with that?
Charles Wright.
Oh, okay. Not left, right?
That's right.
That's right.
Charles Wright, and he was in charge of it. Then we had blocks delivered, and some of the men of the church would form a line, and they would pass it on the next one down there. And
it was the whole length of a wall, right? It was huge.
Yeah, it was huge. It was really nice.
It was.
Nice. And one year we never had to turn our electric on.
Really?
Because the fireplace took care of everything.
Wow, I didn't remember that.
Yeah.
Wow. I can remember laying...
Well, you wouldn't remember it because I paid the bill.
That's true, Dad. I can remember laying in bed in the mornings and hearing you crinkle up the newspaper and putting it in the fireplace.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. So we had a lot of fun memories there.
Yeah, I'd fire that up after I got back from the paper route.
Yeah, talk about the paper route.
Well, we had a paper
William.
route, and it was John's favorite part of the ministry there. He had a rough time getting up in the morning, but he made it most of the time. But we delivered the Wichita Eagle Beacon, and then we added the Kansas City Star and Times. And then we added the USA Today, which was a Sunday through, it was a Monday through Friday paper.
Mm-hmm.
And then we tried Tulsa, but that didn't work too good.
No.
So then it was too far for them to bring the paper up. So, but it was good. And then we used some of the money, if not most of it, for John's future years at Ozark. If he was going to go, it would help him financially. So,
and
buying bonds.
Yeah, I remember hearing about that. And he got a truck too, right?
Yeah, he got a truck and a Dodson he got from Norman Doherty. And anyway.
And one time, what happened with that truck? What, in the garage or something?
Yeah, I think he ran into the garage door.
He ran into the garage door. And JW, we have a lot of really fun and great memories of their basketball and sports there.
Yeah, and John got to be on the team that won. Well, he was in the band, but later the team. Well, at Ozark, he won 2 national championships.
Yeah.
And
John played, but in high school, John played football too.
He played football his senior year. He waited until those big guys got out, and he played his senior year. He played like a tight end position, and he was tall and had good hands. And
he was number 88.
88.
Just like who was the OU football player then? Jackson, was it? One of the OU guys, I remember Mom always saying he was number 88, like the guy from the OU football team.
Yeah, I can't remember his name.
Yeah,
Keith Jackson, maybe?
Yeah, maybe, I don't know. So, back to football nights and high school nights, there was another fun thing you did for the football games. Do you remember one of those neat things that you used to do for them?
Announce. Be the announcers up in the crow's nest. It was about to freeze to death. It's cold.
And I remember once or twice I went up there with you with Mom made a big homemade thermal of hot chocolate.
Yes. And that was good. And I announced, and I get involved in it a little bit. And one time Dinger Elrod made a tackle on this guy and creamed him good, and I went, oh!
On the mic.
And Vern Miner, the coach, when they met next day, Sunday afternoon, for watch the tape and talk about the game. And they played that, and he got a big kick out of that. The guy grunted and moaned because Dinger laid him on.
Dinger. Any more neat stories about announcing? Or? fun times like that?
Now, when I directed the choir, I would at the end introduce each person in the choir. And when I got to Elrod, I would announce Steve, Ding Dong, Elrod. And they got a big bang out of that. And let's see, who was that? Johnny Cash, Dwayne Humbarger. I would
Shadow of the Cross.
Yeah, and I would introduce him. I say, this next is Dwayne Cash Humbarger.
Because Dwayne, I remember that one cantata, we had a big time with him, and he sang that song called Shadow of the Cross.
Yeah.
And what was the thing about that was so funny? I can't remember all the details.
Oh, I can't remember.
It was a low bass part though, right?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
He did good.
Yeah, and we had a lot of great memories with them.
Yeah, some good singers. And it was a volunteer choir. Nobody had to try out.
Right.
Everybody just came, and it was good. And had, we had 50-some people in the choir.
That's great for church.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we had real good practices. And I would take the guys into the small chapel and practice, and Becky Duff would do the piano.
Mm-hmm.
And then Evelyn, the Masters, would stay in the sanctuary, and she worked with the women.
Uh-huh.
So they had to do their work ahead of time, present it.
Yeah.
And so we had real good practices. And of course, Dwayne was in the men, and he was hilarious. And I remember seeing Becky turn around at me and just die laughing. See, Becky was in that Psalmettes group.
Oh, the Psalmettes group, yeah.
And when she was in high school, she was very talented.
Mm-hmm. And another fun thing that I remember during the Thayer times was you and something unique is you and Mom had a neat relationship with the Powers, Barbara and David Powers.
Yes.
And so when John was a baby, and Brenda, who's his wife now and has been for many years, when they were babies, Barbara and Mom used to get together, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they were good friends. This is from the first term.
Yes. Well, the first term, Barbara was still in high school.
Mm-hmm.
At first, she was in high school, then she graduated.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think she was born in April. John was born in March.
She was April 27th.
74. So John's probably a month older than her.
And it's real and interesting and unique thing because they met really the first day of when we moved there when he was in 6th grade.
Yeah.
And that's funny how they were, Mom and Barbara were good friends and got together and they were babies together, and then later on ended up meeting and getting married.
Yeah.
So I wonder, do you remember, Dad, what year that was they got married? Was it 1989 or 90?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
90, I think, because John graduated in 88, and I was still in high school. We were in Kentucky.
Yeah.
Yeah, but anyways, that's a neat story. And those brass concerts were a lot of fun. Talk about when the brass was there, about going to Chanute for the
I went up and called the radio guy up there, the radio station, and I told him I wanted to see if I could come in and have an interview with Meredith Williams at Ozark. They would come over in Joplin, and I think they did a concert in Fort Scott the night before. So he came over, and I met him at Chanute, the radio station. And the guy's name was Pat something.
Uh-huh.
And so he was having some marital problems. And so he really listened to me, and so he said, yeah, we'll give you the time. And then he showed up at the concert.
Yeah. That's great. Those brass and the slides are great.
He called me and thanked me. Yeah, it was great. But Meredith really liked it because we did the work and had the promotion, and he got to be like the setup man and come over and have that big interview. And it makes a difference when you publicized, you just get a bigger crowd. And
Yeah.
that's the idea, is to get as many people as possible to hear those programs, the great programs.
Yeah. Good words and encouragement, and people that don't know the Lord too.
Yeah.
But one of the fun things with the Impact Brass and Singers was that we had them up at the circus. Remember the big circus?
Yeah, we had them there up in Shenandoah. The Lions Club was putting it on.
Right.
And so I found out about the guy, and I went up. He owned a grocery store there on Main Street. And so I went in and talked to him and see if we could have, they were having those elephants, and they're going to have an elephant, and see if they could, the brass could play. So they brought in a flat wagon, so the brass could stand on that, and they gave a program, music, whatever, for that part in the circus when those elephants. So I asked Meredith if he'd like to ride one of the elephants, and what's the other guy's name, the director?
Meredith and I was just talking about him the other day. Willis?
Yeah, Willis Harrison.
Yeah.
And so we got pictures of them. And
they're on top of the elephant.
On this race they were having, and it was something to remember.
I know.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun, and the crowd enjoyed it. But they were riding those elephants down on the pavement on the Main Street in Chinook.
Yeah, and Meredith and Heather ended up actually being longtime friends of yours and Mom's, and still are.
And one of those times when they came over, those 6 years in a row, it was when we had a big crowd, one of those 700 nights, and it was their 25th wedding anniversary.
Oh.
So I had Marvin Brooks and somebody of the Brooks brothers, Mike.
The bakery.
Yeah, and they came down. They held up these watermelons in the air, so when they walked down the center aisle, everybody could see these watermelons. And that's what we presented to them, 2 or 3 watermelons for the wedding anniversary.
Yeah, yeah. There's a lot of fun with.
The crowd got a big kick out of that.
There's a lot of fun in Thayer with the Thayer Fair and the watermelon capital.
Yeah, they had that usually around Labor Day weekend, and they had this seed spitting contest. So they get on the band shell there on the floor, and they would have this seed spitting contest and see how far you could spit that seed out of your mouth. And we were from California, never heard anything.
Kind of redneck, huh?
But they had a lot of fun. It's a tradition that they still do.
And they did the amateur, or not the amateur, but they always did a singing competition or something like that, didn't they? At night?
Well,
something.
The amateur hour was every Saturday night.
So they had it that night. And they'd bring in the Thayer Fair and the rides, and the different vendors would come in with the funnel cakes and stuff. And
yeah. Now that was a September thing.
Yeah.
When they did that.
Yeah. And the big parade, that was always fun.
Yeah, they had a big parade, and churches, they make floats.
Yeah, that's right. Different people like the Lions Club or whoever was in town would make the bank.
Community groups.
Yeah.
The school, each high school grade, 10th graders, their float. 11th.
Oh, really? Not just one high school float? Yeah. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. So they just a little touch of yesteryear. And when that first year we were there in July, and the end of August was the big fair, and they had the rocket. You go up in the air and it spins around.
Oh yeah.
And so Mom, she was the daredevil. So her and Harry, the funeral director, Harry Robinson, and they got on that rocket and got up there, and Harry turned colors just about. And he
wow.
scared to death. Mom's up there having a good time.
Oh, Mom's a sight. Yeah.
And then also when we were there, the first time they talked about sweet potatoes, digging sweet potatoes. Well, she thought they grew on something, but they're in the ground.
Oh, yeah.
So she went out with that smelly lady and different. Leona Smedley, I think her name was. And she went out to pick sweet potatoes.
Yeah.
And she about wore out. It was hard work. And
out in the farms and
yeah,
stuff. Yeah.
We went out to Gene Spitz.
And strawberries too, right? Didn't y'all used to pick strawberries out there?
Well, a little bit.
Yeah. Now, Dad, you had a garden at our house, and talk about what all you planted in there and how that was.
Well, I mean, finish the sweet potatoes.
Oh, I'm sorry.
She went out there and she said she was so tired she wanted to quit, but she didn't. She stuck it out for 2 weeks. That's how long it was. People come by and they knew Gene, good reputation, they buy his products.
Yeah.
Yeah, what was that other thing?
About your garden. We had a garden
I had
there.
a garden, yeah, at the second ministry. The first one I didn't.
No.
The second one I did. Sam and John next door.
Yeah.
And he used to be a professional boxer.
Really? Sam did?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And so we got to be good friends. And
that was our neighbor.
Our next door neighbor.
He had a pet raccoon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't remember his name. I can't.
Yeah.
Raccoon. But we had a good garden, and I gave produce. And then we went to Orinoco when we were there in Wood City. I had a nice garden, and I took a bunch of cantaloupe over to the grocery store in Next City.
Oh yeah. You had corn there too, right?
Yeah, corn and tomatoes and cucumbers.
And I remember the watermelon a lot.
And I took a bunch of cantaloupes one time, had them in the back of our car. I took them to this little grocery store in Next City. The owner said, all right, so he took a pocket knife out. And he took that pocket knife and cut the cantaloupe in two. And he cut a little piece and put it in his mouth. He says, I'll take them all. So they were Rocky Ford. They're good cantaloupes.
Yeah, yeah.
But it was fun to give food, because we gave some good food away.
Yeah.
People.
I bet.
We had good eating. In the Orinoco, we had that septic line that would go right under there, and boy, those tomatoes have flourished.
Mm. Oh yeah, yeah. I didn't think of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had a house out there, and that's another place that you built a fireplace in too.
Yeah.
Actually, you built an add-on, right?
Yeah, we did a little dining area too, and
Yeah.
it went out about 12 feet, had a bay window.
Yeah.
And then we did that fireplace, and that was great.
Your master bedroom too.
We did the master
yeah.
bedroom, which was an angle.
Mm-hmm.
Huge master bedroom.
That was neat.
And it was good.
Yeah. That was neat. I used to go outside and swing on the swing set and sing All Fly Away.
Yeah. And we put that chain fence up, John Carr and I did
Yeah.
that. And that was a nice little deal. So. Anyway.
Yeah, and across the road from us was a bunch of cows in acreage, wasn't
Yeah. That guy mowed it really nice. It was an open field, and it was
Yeah.
beautiful. Beautiful
Yeah.
setting. Beautiful view.
Yeah. Good. Well, is there anything else you want to share about Thayer? And
No, we had a chance to go back for a third time there,
right.
but we just decided I wanted to get an associate position. I didn't have all the stress of everything and getting the sermon up every week
Yeah.
and so forth.
They're good people there.
So, but they called us, I think they called us in January, and we had got through the process that summer
Yeah.
with Tate Creek, so
All right.
it worked out.
Good.
I'm sure we could have enjoyed a nice ministry at Thayer again, but I've been back a couple times to speak.
Yeah. Yeah.
Had a big crowd, enthusiasm,
Yeah.
but they remember the joy that we had all those years.
Right. Right.
And that's not a real transit area. People move out, you get a lot of the same families.
Yeah.
They've just grown up and they got their people,
Mhm.
their children.
Mhm.
A lot of them stay. It's a real family type situation.
Yeah.
Very good.
It's a good church. I remember the last Sunday we were there and they sang the song "Friends Are Friends Forever."
Yeah.
That was a neat occasion. So, well, this concludes us talking about Dad's ministry at Thayer Christian Church, and we hope you've enjoyed that segment. And we will talk to you later.
Bye.